This is Kamera Points in the Bible, day number 14, Genesis chapter 41 and 42. Oh my God, it's like one of my favorite stories because when we're going through something, we don't see the way out. We don't see how God is in this thing. But Joseph's story shows us so much. He was placed in the palace prison, and he interpreted some dreams. God gives the interpretation of dreams. And I love the fact that Joseph is very humble about where this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding come from. And we have to always remember, I don't care if we do want credit for it, it doesn't belong to us. It comes from God. The fact that we have the willing mind, the fact that we have the gift, the fact that we have the strength, the zeal, the knowledge and wisdom, revelations, what have you, it all comes from God. If God doesn't give it to us, it's not going to happen. And so 2 years after he get the interpretation of someone who is very close, you don't get in a closer position than this cupbearer. The cupbearer forgot about Joseph. And we have to keep, that's a point. We have to keep in mind that if it's meant to go further, it will go further if you've done all you can. Joseph told that cupbearer to remember him. Well, he didn't remember him for 2 years. But then the king had dreams. And he called his magicians and his sorcerer and his wise men. They couldn't interpret it. But get this. At this time, the cupbearer had to be there to overhear what the king had a problem with. And guess what? That's when God reminded him of what he had gone through. He met a man who gave interpretations of dreams. Where did he meet this man? In jail. Joseph had no idea all this is going on at all. But God gave that man experience with Joseph, and he is right there with the king. We don't know what's going on in the background, guys. We just don't know how God worked this out. And I want you to take a look at Joseph's the path that he took to get here. He was treated harshly, sold by his brothers. He was a slave. See, this is the thing that people, men and women of God, we look at the beginning, we look at the beginning, the middle, and the end of a story, but we don't see the day-to-day struggles, the things we have to overcome in order to get where God wants us to be. We got to keep ourselves in check even through those rough times. Joseph had to have a good attitude to get where he had gotten. So God was setting it up. We can see it now, but Joseph was 17 years old from what I hear when he was sold to slavery. Joseph is nowhere near 17 at this point, but that's a lot of years to go through and not see the disappointments, the lying and the accusation. He didn't focus on who harmed him. He focused on being the person who God wanted him to be in every situation. The Bible says that God was with him. He encouraged him. God was with him. And now the cupbearer remembers Joseph. Joseph has no idea what's going on. And then when they called Joseph out, Joseph still don't know what's going on. And so now the king has a dilemma. And Joseph, he tells them, I don't interpret dreams. I'm not the one who gives the knowledge of the dreams, but I'm sure God will give you the understanding of that dream. He gave it back to God. And he didn't get in front of the king like, yeah, I do dreams. No, he was humble and gave it to God. And so the dream, though, is so awesome because that's a financial advice to us as well as the king. 7 years of abundance, then 7 years of famine. And then God gives him not only the interpretation of the dream, but he gives him a resolution, how to get through those 7 years of famine. There are times, guys, that's the point. There are times that we just receive and things are going good for us financially in other ways, right? But we're taking all our funds and whatnot, and we're just spending on everything. Isn't that something, guys? When we're in abundance, let's take a portion of that and put it to the side. We still have a lot to play around with, but put away that portion for those lean times. And so That is a great financial advice there. And this is the thing, the dream happened twice in two different forms. And it lets us know, number one, we need to pay attention to our dreams. And because it came twice, Joseph says that it's definitely going to happen. And so God gave him understanding on what to do, the wisdom on what to do. And I look at his path. He's done this before, but now it's on a larger scale. And so the king is so impressed and say, since you know how to do it, I'll let you be that person over doing this. You will be number two in command. I'm the only one who's going to be above you. Joseph, king, can we say king, co-king, assistant king? Joseph is over everything. There is no one higher than Joseph, except God, of course, and the king. Oh my gosh, this kid, not even from this country, is sold into slavery, and now he is like second to king? But who would have seen it? Who would have known that? Who would have known that's how his life was gonna end up, but not end up be? And so Joseph is 30 years old when he gets his position. 30 years. He was sold at 17. So that was the remaining of his teenage, all of his 20s. And now he's 30 years old. And the king gives him a wife. Eventually he has 2 sons. But look what he does. He's focused and he does what he do. And how about there was a great famine all over the land, And how about what Joseph did actually worked, because now people all over the place, when they needed food, they went to the king, Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, go see Joseph. Joseph was the man. Oh my God, I'm in a whole nother country. And so now Jacob, his father, is like, guys, I hear there's there's grain over there in Egypt. Go get it. He sends 10 of his boys. He kept back Benjamin because he was like, I don't want to lose Benjamin. So they get to Egypt, and guess who the brothers have to go to? They have to go to the one they sold into slavery. They don't recognize him, but Joseph recognizes them. Isn't that something? They bow to Joseph. Remember that dream? Remember those dreams, guys. And so Joseph, he doesn't trust his brothers. But I love the fact that God revealed it all right there. Why is it that those brothers remember what they had done? Why at this point they remember? They're like, we're going through all this because Joseph called them spies. And so now they're remembering, okay, we must be going through this because of what we did with Joseph. But then Joseph also hear that Reuben spoke up for them and said, I told you guys not to do this, and you guys did what you did to our brother. And so, but they're suffering right now. Joseph called them spies, and he's going to throw them in jail. They stayed in jail for 3 days. And so when he talks to them again, this is heartbreaking to Joseph. He even cried at one point. Told them they need to go back and get their kid brother, and he kept back Simeon. Isn't that something? And so, yeah. So they're on their way back to Canaan, tell dad everything that happened. But get this, on their way back, they see that not only do they have their sacks of grain, but the silver they brought is there. And so they're frightened. They're scared. People are going to think we stole this. I don't know. Something crazy is happening. What is God doing to us? That was their question. And so when they get there, you have Jacob. They tell Jacob everything that happened. And so Jacob is like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I lost Joseph. Now I lost Simeon. And now you want Benjamin? I am not sending my son. What is against me? Everything is against me. Jacob, you don't see it, but everything is not against you. Guys, you don't see it. Everything is not against you. Just be faithful to God. And just keep him close to you. Be aware of God in your life all the time, that everything is working out for the good. And just be faithful to God. Don't put him in the back burner. Just be, always check on your spirit, your mind, your heart, and make sure it's in line with God. If you have a hard time, ask God to help you in every step of the way. But this right here is one of my favorite stories because it lets us know, guys, even though it don't look like everything's going to work out, trust God and watch what happens. But there you have it, guys. If you have any points you'd like to add, please place them in the comments. And guys, points in the Bible, day number 14, Genesis chapter 41 through 42. You have a God-filled blessed day.